Chairman Issa, Ranking Member Cummings, and members of this committee, first of all, thank you for giving me the privilege of testifying before you today regarding the wrongful use of union dues for political spending by labor union officials. For over 15 years now, I have been a UAW member, and I have personally observed the intimidating political activities of my union. I am pro-union, but in the context of what unions were originally created to do, and that's to represent their employees in the realms of the workplace. I am also the president and founder of a nonprofit organization called Union Conservatives. The entire reason I felt the need to start this organization was because my union was using my union dues to push a political agenda that I oppose. Now, since I started Union Conservatives, I've heard the stories of hundreds of union workers who are also tired and fed up with the political activities of their own unions. Up to 40% or more of union workers actually vote for Republican. That means almost 6 million union workers in the United States alone feel harassed and persecuted because of the political activities of their union officials. So to protect workers from the constant political abuses of their dues by their union officials, there really are only two options. The first option would be to require a combination of audits and Beck rights. A nonpartisan third party would audit all spending by the unions and all subjective educational spending or anything regarding any political activity must be omitted from the agency fee and make the Beck decision the default position for all union workers. But the second choice is really the best and only clear way to ensure that the rights of all union workers are protected, and that is to pass a national right-to-work law. This would ensure that only those workers who agree with the political activities of their unions are paying for it, and those who find the far-left political activities of their unions to be despicable would not be forced as a condition of employment to financially support those activities. So let's take a look at the first option. The Supreme Court decision called the Communication Workers of America versus Beck acknowledged that unions do not have the right to use for political purposes the dues of workers or non-members who object to those political activities. However, union workers must first resign their membership, and then they are frequently the victims of humiliation and harassment on the job for resigning their union membership. Because of this, fear stops the union member from exercising their rights. Secondly, unions still use the agency fee as a means to spend money on political purposes, and it happens all the time. The first option, making each worker a Beck rights worker as the default position, would be a step in the right direction. But the agency fee still contains many activities that are deemed extremely offensive by a large number of union workers, and those union workers fear the reprisal that comes with exercising those rights. The only effective answer to this violation of workers' political freedom is to eliminate compulsory union language from the National Labor Relations Act and the Railway Labor Act. This would, in essence, establish a National Right-to-Work Act. Only then will union officials be held answerable and accountable to the workers for their offensive and radical left-wing political actions. Only then will union bosses have to compete for a worker's loyalty. Competition, instead of compulsion, always makes an organization stronger. I ask you to grant to the rest of the American workers what President John F. Kennedy granted to the federal workforce in Executive Order 10988, dated January 17, 1962. Quote, employees of the federal government shall have and shall be protected in the exercise of the right freely and without fear of penalty or reprisal to form, join, and assist any employee organization or to refrain from any such activity. I also ask you to grant to the millions of union workers their First Amendment right of freedom of association, or conversely, the freedom to not associate. You know, the United States government has given labor unions the ability to trump an individual's First Amendment right and force the seizure of an individual's personal property, their wages, for simply exercising their pursuit of happiness by applying for a job. Because forced solidarity is no solidarity at all. Even prisoners in a chain gang have solidarity. Forced solidarity is nothing more than being a prisoner in chains. Only through having a complete volunteer union is there real and true solidarity. And finally, let me quote Founding Father Thomas Jefferson. To compel a man to furnish contributions of money for the propagation of opinions which he disbelieves is sinful and tyrannical. Thank you.